July 2026. The final whistle blows across North America, and for the first time in modern tournament history, the bracket does something completely unprecedented. There are no surprise packages. There are no miraculous underdogs, or Cinderella stories from small nations capturing the hearts of neutral fans. The numbers on the screen lock in a reality that feels almost simulated. France, Argentina, Spain, and England. The literal top 4 teams in the official live global FIFA rankings have completely closed the doors and locked out the rest of the world. The casual fan will look at this semifinal lineup and call it expected. They will point to the sheets of world-class talent and argue that the cream simply rose to the top. But they are completely missing the tactical engineering, the historical structural anomalies, and the statistical rarity of what we are about to witness. This isn't just a high-quality semifinal bracket. This is mathematically and structurally the most brutal, zero margin for error Final Four ever assembled in the history of the sport. Why did the tournament bracket finally break its pattern of chaos? And why are these 4 specific managers terrifying the entire footballing world? To understand how truly absurd this semifinal matrix is, let's look directly at the historical data. In modern tournament football, the tournament expansion has historically welcomed massive variance. We are used to seeing the narrative of the glorious dark horse. Think back to Croatia's historic march in 2018, or Morocco breaking absolute boundaries in Qatar. Even the recent runs of massive overachievers were built on the premise that elite tournament brackets are designed to break down under high emotional stress. But look at the numbers for 2026. The collective ranking of these 4 semifinalists represents a pure vacuum of elite status. France, Argentina, Spain, and England. Never before has the system achieved this level of pure, unadulterated predictability at the highest stakes. When France manager Didier Deschamps was asked about the lack of surprise teams in the final week, his answer was telling. At this altitude, tactical depth behaves like armor, and the numbers prove it. Combined, these 4 heavyweights have surrendered a total of mere fractions of expected goals across the knockout phase, completely suffocating their opponents. This isn't luck. It's a hostile takeover by the footballing elite. Let's step onto the tactical board to reconstruct exactly how this hyper-elite grid was engineered. We start with the first semifinal, an absolute European structural war between France and Spain in Dallas. Look at the tactical shape deployed by Luis de la Fuente's Spain. They have abandoned the ancient, slow horizontal possession cycles of the past decade and moved into a devastatingly vertical 3-2-4-1 attacking structure. This system focuses entirely on isolating fullbacks in the wide channels, using rapid ball circulation through the half spaces to generate overloads, with young star Lamine Yamal and Mikel Oyarzabal distorting defensive lines. Spain reached this point by squeezing past Belgium 2-1 in the quarterfinals, operating at a high-intensity 72% pass completion rate inside the final third. But look at their opponent on the board. France is the ultimate tournament chameleon. Didier Deschamps lines up in a highly pragmatic, physically imposing 4-3-3 that transitions instantly into a low-block mid-press structure. The tactical concept here isn't to control the ball, it's to control the space. France doesn't mind Spain having 60% of the possession, because their defensive line operates with under 12 meters of internal spacing. They have marched through the knockouts without conceding a single goal, dismantling Sweden 3-0 and squeezing past Morocco. The moment Spain commits their central midfielders forward into the half spaces, France triggers a vertical transition targeted directly at Kylian Mbappe, who sits tied at the top of the Golden Boot race with 8 goals. It is the irresistible force of Spanish technical control meeting the immovable object of French structural pragmatism. This brings us to the second heavyweight collision on the board in Atlanta, England versus the reigning champions Argentina. This is a matchup that completely redefines tactical tension. Lionel Scaloni's Argentina has marched into the Final Four after a grueling 120-minute physical battle against Switzerland, winning 3-1 in extra time thanks to clinical strikes from Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez. Scaloni's tactical blueprint relies on an asymmetrical mid-block built around the passing gravity of Alexis McAllister and Enzo Fernandez, which frees up Lionel Messi to operate as a central creative roaming node. Messi has been a machine, breaking the all-time World Cup scoring record by reaching 21 goals, level with Mbappe on 8 for this tournament alone. But look at how Gareth Southgate's England side matches up against this shape. England's tactical evolution has been built on ultimate control, deploying a strict 4-2-3-1 block that emphasizes defensive transition protection. England rode into the semifinals on pure resilience, coming from behind to defeat Norway 2-1 in extra time courtesy of a spectacular Jude Bellingham brace. With Bellingham and Harry Kane dropping deep into the structural vacuum, England's primary tactical objective is to cut off the central vertical passing lanes that feed Messi. They don't press high, they press smart. By forcing Argentina's ball progression wide into low probability crossing zones, England's shape is designed to starve the world champions of central oxygen. It is a psychological chessboard where a single step out of formation means immediate elimination. Here is the counterintuitive twist that most casual pundits are completely missing. The absolute lockout of the top 4 rankings doesn't mean football has become boring or predictable. In fact, it means the exact opposite. Because these 4 systems are so refined and have eliminated structural errors, the matches will not be decided by tactical mistakes. They will be decided by micro-innovations within the game. For instance, look at the role of the modern goalkeeper in these specific Final Four setups. They are no longer just shot stoppers. They are deployed as auxiliary deep center backs tasked with breaking the initial wave of the opposition press. Football analyst Ali El-Garni noted that when the 4 best teams in the world collide without any performance drop-off, the game shifts from a tactical battle into a pure test of physical recovery and psychological endurance. The physical data is terrifying. These teams are pushing human limits, displaying an unprecedented 5% increase in high-intensity distance covered over historical tournament baselines. The margins have shrunk to a millimeter. The structural perfection of this semifinal grid has triggered massive global debates regarding the future of the tournament format itself. The European and South American football federations have looked at this Final Four as the ultimate validation of elite youth development and tactical standardization. When a system allows the 4 top-ranked nations to entirely dominate a 48-team tournament structure, it proves that the resource gap at the absolute top of the pyramid has become a fortress. Stripping away the stadium noise and the media narratives, what we are left with is the purest sporting matrix ever created. There is no easy path, no friendly side of the bracket, and absolutely no fluke results. For 72 hours, the world will stop to watch 4 footballing superpowers operate at the absolute peak of human and tactical performance, knowing that the winner will have survived the most brutal gauntlet in sporting history. So, are these the greatest semifinals ever built? Let us know what you think in the comments below.